Brant, the Lions go in at Baltimore on the road, Monday Night Football, get a huge defining win for this football team, and I felt like they needed it, especially after the Week 1 loss against Green Bay. Where are you at with this football team right now? I know that you were impressed. They bully balled their way there by running the football, by containing Lamar against a very, very good Ravens team. What's your take right now on the Lions and the pulse of where they sit right now overall in the NFL?
Dave, I basically have two takes. I feel like my first take is this team is going to the Super Bowl. I I feel like I'm going to plant my flag.
That's a hot take, my friend.
No, it really is, and I understand where that's come. I get why people would think that's a hot take, but I have to believe that this team took the Commanders' loss last year and they have refocused, but I don't think they're focused on the regular season. I think they have get up spots at the moment. I feel like they get pounded by the Packers on week 1, but to me, that's like kind of a giveaway spot, right, Dave? Like that game was always going to be tough, and it didn't matter where it fell on the schedule. It could be week 1, it could be week 18. It didn't matter. That game, the Packers had it circled. Obviously, they wanted it more in that moment, and I feel like you're just going to see the Lions this year. They really wanted to go into Baltimore and win that game. They had a lot to prove in week 2. They did that. Um, I truly feel like this team is kind of a pick your poison at the moment, and I feel like they can kind of flip the switch when they need to. Obviously, when they fell flat against the Commanders last year, I think they all kind of looked around that locker room and said, "Well, what was the point of the regular season?" I feel like this team is almost better served going 12-5, 11-6.
And we kind of said that at the beginning of this year, right? Like we this is exactly what we talked about.
And it's kind of what the doctor ordered to me, Dave. Like, I don't need to see you go out and beat the Browns by 40 this weekend. I need you. I would like to see them win, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to see it in the regular season, I guess. And I mean that sounds like a spoiled fan. It really does. But I feel like this team knows what it has in the bag, and I don't even like using the term load management or whatever, but this team is solely focused on the postseason right now, Dave, and it kind of feels that way. When you go into Baltimore and you win a game like that and you dominate the way you did in the trenches, it makes me think that this team has an extra gear this year that they can flip the switch and go.
Well, let's go there for a second because I feel like in the trenches is that was kind of my big question mark in this team coming into this year is like look at what you lost on that offensive line, and I'm like you can't convince me that the Lions got better on the offensive line. I mean, you replace Zettler, you replace Frank Ragnow, right? You've got but look, Christian Mahogany, Graham Glasgow. Now, Glasgow's probably the guy I'm like, all right, he's definitely not your long term solution. But Mahogany, and then I'm forgetting our guy on the right
Tate
side
Ratledge.
there. Thank you, Tate Ratledge, rookie there, dude. I mean, that's what had me impressed is they're playing better. They've got better each week. They looked really good against Baltimore. You look at some of those runs opened up for David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Man, those guys on the interior did great. You already know what you have on the outside, right? Like you've got Taylor Decker, you got Penei Sewell. It's the interior of that O-line that's got to come together. And I think they're doing just that. And so I'm with you. And I said it's a hot take when you're like, look, they're going to a Super Bowl. It has to be that. They've got to be laser focused on that. And just 3 weeks into the season, and you certainly after last year, you can't overreact to the regular season. But I think it's pretty clear already who the best teams in the NFL are. And I don't know how many teams I can genuinely look at right now. Like if I bring up just standings and I look through some of these team names, I'm not convinced that there's many teams better than the Lions. You could argue the Bills, maybe the Chargers. You know, they got a great defense over there. It's a good football team. I'm not necessarily buying the Danny Dimes Colts and his resurgence there. The 49ers, I'm not really, I know they're 3-0. I'm not really buying that they're all that. I mean, Purdy's banged up. They may get him back. They are a well-coached
They've had a
team.
pretty favorable schedule to this point as well.
They have. And Philly looks good. I mean, right now it's like, the Bucks look good too, by the way, but they just lost Mike Evans for a period of time. And
let me insert the Rams.
Yep. Rams are, I think the Rams and the Lions are kind of like in that same tier. Lions just above them, though, I would say. And so I guess the other team would be the Packers. Like I can't just breeze by the Packers after they are the team that put your one loss in the loss column. But outside of that, I mean, it's look, Detroit's right there, and so yeah, it is. Super Bowl or bust is always a hot take, but I feel like after what you had 2 years ago, where you get to the NFC Championship game, you have the collapse. We don't need to talk about that again. Have the elite regular season to follow that up, but then you go ahead and drop in the you get first round bye, you get home field advantage, then you blow it right away against the Commanders. It's like this year, to your point, what's standing in front of you?
Dave, it's
Not
funny that
much.
it's funny that you say the Super Bowl or bust because I feel like there's probably three teams that fall into that category, and I do think it is probably Buffalo, Baltimore, and Detroit. I mean, those are three teams that have been on the verge, knocking on the door, the last 3 years or so, and one of them's got to break through. I feel like, God help me if I have to watch another Philly or Kansas City run. I won't do it. I can't do that again. But I would
You don't want to
love.
watch the Kelsey Brothers podcast?
No, no, thank you.
Jesus.
I don't need the Taylor Swift montage. But no, it's just like watching the Baltimore and Detroit game on Monday night. I mean, that was fireworks, right? Like,
Yep.
comes down to the Derrick Henry fumble. Nearly crying after the game. I mean, that's how much that game meant to Baltimore. I mean, the Ravens wanted that one, and they knew what was on the table with a good Lions team, and for them to lose it at home, it was really a gut punch for those guys. So these are teams that are serious Super Bowl contenders, and it was great to see Detroit come out on top in that one.
Absolutely, it's a huge win for this team. They absolutely needed it. Now they will take on the Browns. The Browns, who by the way just got their first win, and their defense looks good. It's definitely not a. I know Joe Flacco is about to celebrate his 50th birthday, but look, the Browns can be a pesky little team. And man, our guy Mason Graham on that D line with Miles Garrett. I mean, look, no team to sleep on. But you got the Browns, you got the Bengals without Joe Burrow, and you have a struggling Kansas City Chiefs team. Those are your next three games. But let's zero in on that Browns game for a moment, Brant. Have you taken a look at that spread? Let's talk that for just a moment here.
Yeah, Dave. So Lions favored by 10 at home, which makes a ton of sense. I'm just going to hop right into it. I'm going to take the Browns with the plus 10. Something that feels like a little bit of a letdown spot for Detroit here. And I already talked about get up games. Like this would not be what I would consider a get up game. I think the fact that they beat the Packers last week was more of the Packers of a downfall than the Browns being an actual good football team. But they are like a challenging football team. Like you said, Flacco, he's not going to do anything that you haven't seen before from Joe Flacco, but he's going to do Joe Flacco things, and he's going to orchestrate the offense and move the ball down the field. Matriculate would probably be a good word to use for him. And it's just one of those things. Their defense is a little bit stingy. Miles Garrett. There's going to be things that the Browns are going to present that I think leads to them losing by potentially 3-7 under 10 points.
Okay, and I totally see why you're taking it, especially seeing the Browns be a pesky team and having a good defense. 10 points seems like a lot. I'm gonna kind of ride this hot wave right now. I feel like the Lions after this game are going to be coming off of a high, and I think this offense is clicking right now. And they're just so diverse on offense. It's like the running the football, yes, it's so good, but man, passing the ball too. It's like Amon-Ra, J-Mo, like they have so many weapons. They still haven't fully unleashed Sam Laporta, but when they use him, he looks good out there. And look, you still got Tesla, who they didn't even have to really utilize this past week. I just feel like the team is clicking right now. I'm incredibly impressed, by the way, with Johnny Morton. I know it's only been a few weeks, but I'll tell you what, when you have to fill the shoes of Ben Johnson here, and look, no, regardless of what people feel about him, Ben Johnson was a very good and successful offensive coordinator here in Detroit. Johnny Morton's come in, and I know there are a couple little reverses, things that some people would say maybe are a little gimmicky, but guess what? It works, and they executed it perfectly. And to me, that's good play calling. They practice it. The chemistry is there, and it seems like they haven't missed a step there. So go ahead. You got something else you want to add in?
Yeah, just the Dan Campbell piece. Dan Campbell had always said in the offseason, and I thought it was the loudest thing he said all offseason, that this was his offense. This is his culture. This is his offense. Ben Johnson, obviously a part of that. Aaron Glenn, obviously a part of that. But Dan Campbell, as they move forward, is the centerpiece of this franchise. And don't make any mistakes about it. It's not Jared Goff. It's not Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's obviously Brad Holmes too, but it's mostly, to me, Dan Campbell.
Look, and just to wrap this up, Jared Goff, though, he is just the perfect quarterback to have. He just knows his role right now with this team. He doesn't need to go out and throw for three touchdowns every week for them to win. It may just be one touchdown, but he's making the right reads, making the right throws, and he just looks like a polished, stable, good veteran to have on this team. And they look to him. He's a leader of this football team. So Lions fans, hop in the comments section, hit us a like on this video, hit that subscribe button. If you're a Lions fan, you like Michigan football, we'd love to hear from you and hear what you think about this big win at Baltimore and what you think about this team moving forward at home against the Browns this week.